This is activity 3, summer reading. And in this activity, let's jump to the text just for a second. In this activity, Lynn has a summer reading assignment. So she's done some reading, and she's going to put together a graph that's going to predict her progress during that summer reading assignment. She wants to make sure she gets done with that reading assignment by the end of the summer. So what does she have to do each day to finish that assignment? And so she decides that after having read 40 pages, so she reads 40 pages, and she decides, okay, I'm going to draw a graph after that first 40 pages. So what do I have to read each day and to finish the assignment by the end of the summer? So she decides I'm going to read, if I read 30 pages each day, this graph is going to tell me where I'm going to be at the end of the summer. So we can take this graph and we can figure out the y and the x values for this graph and also the slope, and we can put those together to write the equation for her summer reading so that she can predict where she's going to be and then follow her progress. So if she starts out, after one day she's read 30 pages, and after another day she's read another 30 pages, we can use this point right here at 100 pages and 2 days to write the graph. Now you could use 1 day and what this point is right here, but notice it's right in between 80 and 60, and you can say that it's probably 70 pages, but to be absolutely sure, it's a good idea if you find where a grid line along the x-axis and a grid line along the y-axis where they intersect, and they intersect the graph, then you're absolutely sure of this point. So after 2 days, this graph says that she will have read 100 pages. And so there's no question about that because it's right on the line. And so let's use this point to write both the slope and the y and the x values for the equation. So she's at y right here. And so what do you have to do for the left side of the equation is you have to subtract these 40 pages. That's a 40-page head start. So after 40 pages, she decides to draw the graph. So you have to subtract that 40 pages. So y minus 40. So that's this 40 right here, same as this 40 right here. What you in effect are doing is sliding the slope triangle down to the x-axis. So y minus 40 over the number of days. Well, the number of days is just x. You don't have to subtract anything from the x because you're already at the y-axis. So this is, if you look, this is x minus 0, which is equal to x. So y minus 40 over x. Now what's that equal as far as the slope? Well, this is 60. So how do you get that? It's that 100 pages, but then you have to subtract this 40 pages right here. So that 40 pages is written right here. This is the same 40 pages all along this line. So 100 minus this 40 tells you the number of pages she read in 2 days. So she read 60 pages in 2 days. So 60 pages in 2 days. So the y value is that 2 minus 0. She's right at 0 in the beginning. So after 2 days, she's read 60 pages. So how many pages is that for a day? Per day. And that's 30 pages per day, which is the slope. Now notice you could have used this slope triangle right here. You'd get y minus 40. So this is y minus that 40 over x. This would be x. But in 1 day, it would be 30 pages. So that would be 30 over 1. So you have to take the 70 pages, subtract the 40 pages to get this 30 right here. So 70 minus 40 is 30. 1 day gives you a slope of 30. Notice that they are the same. They have to be the same. So regardless of which slope triangle you use, you're going to get the same equation. And what does this equation mean? It tells you that the number of pages that she reads each day, so y minus 40, is 30 times the number of days. So the number of pages she read each day is 30 times the number of pages. So y minus 40 is 30 times the value of x. So 30 times more units of y than x. So y minus 40 is 30 times x, or is 30 times the number of days, because she read 30 pages each day. Now, to get where the y coordinate is on the graph, you have to add back the 40 pages that she had as a head start. So you have to add that 40 pages back. So now you're at y is equal to the number of pages she read each day, 30 pages each day, times the number of days, plus that 40 pages that you have to add back. So this is the equation. Y is equal to 30 pages each day plus the 40-page head start. All right, so let's look at her reading a little bit. In her reading, it says that she started the graph after she read 30 pages. So there's the mistake right there. We graphed it after as if she had read 40 pages in the first day. Or I'm sorry, before she started keeping track of her information. But it says that she read 30 pages and then started her graph. And it also says that she read 40 pages each day. But she graphed it as reading 30 pages each day. That slope was 30. That's the number of pages each day. So one day, 30 pages. Second day, 30 pages. Third day, 30 pages. Fourth day, 30 pages. But the text says that she read 40 pages each day. So there's the difference right there. Now, what I did is I took this information down here and I just did a rough draft of the graph. This is what she actually did. And so and this is a good thing to do, just to practice, how well are you able to put together these graphs? How much are you starting to understand how to deal with this information as an equation and as a graph? So after one day, first of all, she started at 30 pages. After one day, she read 40 pages. So I just estimated where 30 would be, and then I just made a guess of where 40 pages would be. That's be 70, another 40 pages, 110, another 40 pages, 150, and another 40 pages, 190. So this is 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. So 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and 4 days. And notice that I'm saying that the y-intercept, or she says the y-intercept is 30 pages. This is where she started, and she read 40 pages a day. So that's going to be the slope that we're going to figure out, 40 pages a day. So here are the two graphs together. The graph that's the black line, the black graph, is the original graph that she drew first, and the red graph is what she actually was doing. So the black graph is the mistake, the red graph is what she actually did. So the equation for the red graph, it's going to be y minus 30. So it's this y value right here minus this 30. She has to slide this triangle down 30 pages. She had a 30-page head start, so you have to take that 30 pages away. Y minus 30, and that's in 1 day. So what's the length right here? So 70 minus 30, this number of pages is 40 pages. So that's 40 pages in 1 day. That's the slope. So y minus 30 over x is 40 pages in 1 day. So y minus 30, so this y minus this 30 over x. Now, because this is slid all the way over to the y-axis, you don't have to subtract anything from the x, because it's going to be x minus 0. This is 0 right here for the x value. So y minus 30 over x tells you that that number of pages that she reads each day is 40 times the number of days, because she reads 40 pages each day. So that makes sense. So y minus 30 is 40 times the value of x, or 40 times the number of days. That allows you to write the equation. So y minus 30 is 40 times the number of days. And if you look at that, and so I just wrote out for each day. So in 1 day, so I'm going to work backwards here. In 1 day, she read 40 pages, and then I have to add that 30 pages to get the total number of pages that she's read. That's 70 pages. 2 days, read another 40 pages. 2 times 40 is 80. plus that 30 gets you to 110. 3 times 40 is 120, plus that 30 gets you to 150. 4 times 40 is 160, plus that 30 gets you to 190. So if you're given the number of pages, how many days did it take her to get that far? Just take the 190 pages, subtract the 30-page head start. What's left, you divide by 40, because she read 40 pages each day. 160 divided by 40 is 4. 120 divided by 40 is 3. 80 divided by 40 is 2. And 40 divided by 40 is 1. So y minus 30 is equal to 40 times the number of days. Now, to get this y coordinate on the red graph, remember you have to add back the 30-page head start. So you have to figure out, so you're at this point right here. Actually, you're at this 40 right here. And you have to add this 30, you have to add these 30 pages back to get up to 70. You have to add that 30 pages back. So y, then, the y coordinate is going to equal 40 times the number of days. So it's 40 pages per day. So it's 40 times the number of days plus this 30-page head start. So this is the equation. And where she mixed it up is she said, I have a 40-page head start. I'm going to read 30 pages each day. Notice that that slope is less. It's less steep because she's only reading 30 pages a day as she goes up the graph. The slope of 40 pages a day is steeper. So this is actually better for her. It says that she's going to get done with the book sooner. She's going to take fewer days than she thought she was going to take to read that book, to get out 190 pages after 4 days, where in this case she was only at 160 pages if she had read it at that pace, 30 pages a day. All right. This is activity 3.